Good day, everyone. I am Teacher Lovi. I am here to guide you to sharpen your skills in mathematics. Are you ready? Let's get started.
For week 6, you have module 7, principal roots and irrational numbers. The module is divided into 2 lessons. Lesson 1 is about principal roots and its nature, and lesson 2 determining between what two integers the square root of a number lie. So after going through this module, you are expected to define principal root, describe principal roots and tell us whether they are rational or irrational, and finally determine between what two integers the square root of a number lie. So here is our learning competency code. So a real number has its principal root that can be extracted when using the symbol radical sign. So we call this as the radical sign. The combination of the radical sign together with the number is called a radical. The number under the radical sign is known as the radicand. So see our example. We can read this as square root of 36. We have there our radical sign. And then, again, what do we call the number under the radical sign? Exactly, that is the radicand. So 36 is our radicand. And what about our principal root? So we're just going to find its square root. Or think of a number that when we multiply by itself will give us an answer which is 36, and that would be 6. So my dear students, for you to check your answer, pwede kayong gumamit ng calculator installed in your Android device, or pwede rin naman yung talagang typical calculator that you have. So again, we have another example, square root of 2. The radicand is, yes, 2. And the principal root would be what we have here, 1.414235. So let's define more. Again, principal root, that is the number which produces a specific quantity when multiplied by itself. It is the positive nth root of a number. So take note, principal root is positive. A perfect square is the square of a rational number. Again, rational number is a number that can be expressed in the form a over b, where your a and b are integers and your b must not be equal to 0. And when we said irrational number, these are numbers whose decimal representation is neither terminating nor repeating. This number cannot be expressed as a quotient of integers. So under irrational numbers, since hindi sila terminating o kaya naman ay repeating, ito po yung mga halimbawa is non-terminating and non-repeating. Okay? Hindi natatapos at hindi paulit-ulit. So just like here, diba? Square root of 2. If you're going to check its principal root in a calculator, actually, hindi lang siya hanggang dyan. So, siya ay non-terminating, walang katapusan, at non-repeating. Hindi pa ulit-ulit yung mga digits natin under the decimal places. Okay, so in here, you may use a scientific calculator to find the principal root. So, square root of 36, that would be 6. If you're going to type square root of 64, that would be equivalent to 8. Square root of 81, that is 9. 6, 8, and 9 are perfect squares. While square root of 2, square root of 50, and square root of 75 are not perfect squares. So if you're going to type this using a scientific calculator or installed calculator in your cell phone, we have the equivalent of square root of 2, equivalent of square root of 50, and square root of 75. So, as you can see, they are non-terminating. Walang katapusan. At they are non-repeating. Hindi pa ulit-ulit. So, take note of the following. When a principal root is a whole number or fraction, the principal root described as rational. Kapag naman ang principal root ay non-terminating or non-repeating decimal, then our principal root is described as irrational. Again, kapag hinanap ang principal root, whole number or fraction ang inyong nakuha, then, yung inyong radicand is a rational number. Okay? Your answer, I mean. And then, kapag ang principal root naman natin na nakuha ay non-terminating or non-repeating, then, ang principal root ay irrational. So, yun ang pagkakaiba nila. Kapag hinanap nyo ang principal root at ang inyong nakuha ay ayan, whole number, rational siya. Magpo-fall siya under sets of rational numbers. Pero, kapag ang nakuha nyo ay non-repeating at non-terminating, therefore, irrational yung inyong given. Okay? So, in here, square root of 2, square root of 50, and square root of 75 are examples of irrational numbers. While square root of 36, square root of 64, and square root of 81 are examples of rational numbers. So, hindi nangangahulugan na porkit meron ng radical sign, ang isang number is irrational na siya. It will be easy for us to determine whether the principal root is rational or irrational by using our tables for perfect square. So here are our perfect squares: 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. So the first 10 perfect squares. So 1, this is the product by multiplying 1 and itself, 4, multiplying 2 by itself, 9, multiplying 3 by itself, 16, multiplying 4 by itself, 25, multiplying 5 by itself, 6, multiplying by itself is 36, 7 times 7, that would be 49, 8 times 8, that would be 64, 9 times 9, that would be 81, and 10 times 10, that would be 100. For lesson 2, how do we determine what two consecutive integers the square root of a number lie? Let us have examples. If a principal root is an irrational number, the easiest way you can do to determine between what two integers the square root of a number lie. So in here, let us try to determine the two consecutive integers where the square root of a number lie. We have here our first example, which is square root of 12. Okay. So paano natin nahanapin yung dalawang consecutive magkasunod na integer? Okay? That lies between square root of 12. So una, kailangan muna nating isipin yung two consecutive perfect square integers kung saan yung 12 ay nasa pagitan nila. Okay? So, if we're going to list down numbers in between 12, so we're going to start with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So, nakuha na natin. Meron tayong dalawang perfect square. That is 9 and 16. And ito yung hinahanap natin, 12, di ba? So, therefore, since we have 9 and 16, we're just going to take the square roots of these numbers. Square root of 9, o ano yung number na kapag minultiply natin sa sarili niya, ang sagot ay 9. That is 3. And square root of 16, that would be 4. So therefore, square root of 12 is between 3 and 4. Another example, square root of 40. So what two consecutive perfect square integers where 40 is in between of them? So again, i-list down natin yung numbers. So we can start with 35 or pwede kayo mag-start sa 30 and then after makarating kayo sa another perfect square. And dapat yung 40 ay nasa pagitan ng dalawang perfect square na yon. So what we have here is 36 and 49. Again, kuhanin natin yung square root ni 36. That is 6. Square root of 49 and that is 7. So therefore, square root of 40 is between positive 6 and positive 7. Ayan, para ma-master nyo ang pagkuha ng square root and for you to determine ano nga ba yung mga consecutive perfect square na nasa pagitan nila, so I have here a simple activity for you. So as you can see, bawat box is merong corresponding na hahanapin nyo yung square root. And then, sa ilalim naman is you have certain numbers. Okay? So halimbawa, square root of 24. Ano kayang dalawang integer ang pagitan niya is makikita natin ang square root of 24. Halimbawa, ang sagot nyo is 3 and 4. So, therefore, yung letter A, ilalagay nyo dito. Para masagot natin ang tanong dito sa ating puzzle. Which country consumes the most chocolate per head? Okay.